Hello everyone. Hey, I don't really know how this live feed works. This is the very first time I'm going on it. So I hope you can hear me and see me. My name is Zivi leGreen, and I'm very passionate about cannabis. I would like to talk about cannabidiol or CBD today. I am especially fascinated about its cannabis healing properties and the fact that cannabis can free us from the crude oil dependency. Hello people who just joined in, just started, nice to see you here. So in my opinion, the suppression of the healing properties of medical marijuana is one of the most dastardly examples of the suppression of people in the history of human civilization. This plant, cannabis, is so incredibly powerful in what it can offer human in terms of freedom, agricultural freedom, medical freedom, and even freedom from pharmaceutical companies. Well, in this conversation today, I'm going to accurately describe the intense scientific research that is going on around the world, but I will try to put it in a simple language so that everyone understands why CBD is so important for human physiology. Now, medical marijuana and its chemical constituents, which includes, of course, THC, but also CBD and other compounds, is the big threat to big pharma. This plant offers so much to humanity that it makes so many high-profit painkillers obsolete. And the reason they have to continue to criminalize and suppress medical marijuana is because they need to keep making money, selling the patented prescription painkillers and the cancer drugs and the anticonvulsive drugs and so on. Big Pharma is basically selling crystal meth to children. It's called Adderall. My friends, it is essentially a crystal meth. Not exactly, it's a little bit different molecularly, but that is essentially what they are doing, selling speed, and they profit from this big time. Now, a couple of years ago, a remarkable thing has happened when CBD became legal in all 50 US states, and then also in another more than 40 countries around the world. CBD is not just another supplement, and in order to comprehend the significance of CBD to our health, we first have to ask a simple question. What exactly is our health? Is it just an absence of disease? If you don't have any symptoms, you must be healthy. Well, it's actually a far more important question, and I think is a deeper question than just that. One must first understand how human physiology is designed. In general, every aspect of human physiology is based on a balance between polar opposites. This balance creates homeostasis. And if we look at the specific parts of our physiology, like for example, immune system, the yin and the yang, the polar opposites, will be the anti-inflammation and inflammation, the negative and the positive. When those two things are in balance, your immune system functioning properly. If we are talking about our nervous system, then we are talking about the forces of excitation and the forces of inhibition or relaxation. And when we are talking about our endocrine system or our hormone system, we have the forces of breaking down tissue or the catabolic hormones, and we also have the anabolic hormones which build up tissue. When those two forces are in balance, that's when we have homeostasis in our endocrine hormone system. And if we would be talking about oxidation, we have forces of antioxidation and forces of oxidation in our bodies. Just want to say, most of people think that you have to just take buckets full of antioxidants all the time, as if the oxidation is bad for you. That is not true. If you didn't have oxidation and the forces of oxidation in your body, you couldn't survive even 1 minute. Those two things have to be in balance. They have to be in homeostasis. All of our physiological systems have to be in this constant state of homeostasis, a dynamic balance between polar opposites. The stronger your physiologist's ability to stay in this homeostasis is, the more robust your capacity to be in this homeostasis is, the healthier you are. Now, the next question is how CBD works in our human body or any mammal body. To answer that, we first need to know what exactly is endocannabinoid system and cannabinoids. I have some notes here in front of me, so if I do sound a little bit like I'm reading, so it's just because I am reading. Sorry for the big words in advance, but I want you to know that the endocannabinoid system, sometimes called ECS, is a lipid-derived signaling system discovered within the last 2 decades. Cannabinoids, which are homeostatic regulators, well, they circulate throughout human and animal systems continuously, affecting all physiological processes. That's why the human endocannabinoid system is responsible for memory networks in the brain, both excitatory and inhibitory, including the neurogenesis of hippocampal granule cells, which regulate the timing of the endocannabinoids in accordance with the brain's need, pain reception, mood, synaptic plasticity, motor learning, appetite and taste regulation, the metabolic functions, which regulate the storage of energy and transportation of cellular nutrition. Endogenous compounds such as anandamide and 2-arachidoniglycerol are made by mammals from lipids in our body and bind directly to CB1 and CB2 receptors, serving as neurotransmitters for cannabinoids. Now, cannabinoid receptors, the cannabinoid receptor CB1 and CB2, the two G protein coupled receptors, facilitate the responses of the endocannabinoid system in the body, which are critical to maintaining homeostasis. That's why CBD is so good for us. The endocannabinoid system comprised of the endocannabinoid system is comprised of CB1 and CB2 receptors. And as we know, they are all over our body. There's no place where we don't get CB1 or CB2 receptors. And they bind directly or indirectly with cannabinoids and phytocannabinoids. Now, CB1 receptors are located in a central and peripheral nervous systems, as well as lungs, kidney, and liver. CB2 receptors are predominantly expressed in the immune system and hematopoietic cells. Now, CBD is non-psychoactive cannabinoid, naturally occurring in human and animal species. It is also a phytocannabinoid derived from the industrial hemp plant that usually contains less than 3% of THC. Research has shown that cannabidiol in the form of CBD oil has therapeutic benefits individually and adjunctively with other interventions. Now, while CBD does not bind directly with the receptors, it does affect stress genes such as SOAT2 and CYP227A1, which control cholesterol metabolism. And we know our brain is made from cholesterol. CBD increases the amount of anandamide and other lipids, thereby increasing the availability of circulating cannabinoids to bind with receptors CB1 and CB2. Now, there is 3 categories of the different types of clinical endocannabinoid deficiencies, which sometimes is called CCD, which are associated with different disease and disorders, all of them, genetic, acquired, and idiopathic autoimmune disease. And how amazing that CBD has been shown to reduce tumor growth, inhibit metastasis, and is therefore warranted as a therapy in malignancy, basically any sort of cancer. Another important part of human health and well-being is a reproductive system. I don't want to leave that out. Now, stressful lives, environmental factors, and genetic influences such as, any genetic influences affect sexual behavior and sexual health in males and females. For example, sexually transmitted disease such as HIV affect the immune system and inhibit the ability of the individual to fight opportunistic infections. We know that most of HIV patients dies because of other disease they can't fight. The influence of the endocannabinoid system with excitatory CB1 receptors and immunological CB2 receptors located throughout the reproductive system is essential in understanding disorders that affect the reproductive system. For example, prostate cancer or endometriosis. Now, if you don't know what endometriosis is, it's a very painful inflammatory disease in which endometrial tissue resides in the abdominal cavity. basically causing intra-abdominal bleeding, and infrequently can progress to the other organs, including your lungs. Even with the hormonal and surgical intervention, endometriosis causes chronic pain and disability in millions of women around the world. And the endocannabinoid systems, the endocannabinoid system that regulates hormone imbalance in the reproductive system is basically the CB2 receptors are affected by the clinical endocannabinoid deficiency in endometriosis, and phytocannabinoid, which is derived from hemp, can be replacement to increase anandamide that can bind to the CB2 receptor. And then the anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties of CBD are effective, combining those things together, and then basically helps you to manage inflammation in these conditions such as endometriosis, and actually should be and must be considered in the individual plans of care. Now, about prostate cancer. We know that prostate cancer affects millions of men around the world. And we know that it is associated with an excellent prognosis in early stages. Unfortunately, because many men do not receive prostate examinations or PSH testing or PSI testing. I can't remember exact name. Unfortunately, in the later detections are associated with poor prognosis, and sometimes even death. Now, clinical endocannabinoid deficiency, CECD, in prostate cancer, same as in endometriosis, affects primarily the CB2 receptors, and is the disease is considered idiopathic autoimmune, and because it affects mainly the CB2 receptors, and we know that CBD binds indirectly with those receptors. That's why CBD is suggested to maintain prostate health, same as womb health, and inhibit metastasis of malignant cells. So it's good both for female and male sexual health, reproductive health. Additionally, symptoms can be relieved with CBD because it has like anesthetic effects, and also it reduces anxiety that could be associated with the diagnosis. Now, shortly, in the conclusion basically of the disease, just want to go through the short list of symptoms and just point out, if you are suffering, or if you know anyone that's suffering from any of these conditions, any of these symptoms, like autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis, IBD or IBS, so-called lupus, thyroid, fibromyalgia, MS, skin problems, like prurienrosis, sorry if I'm not saying it right, eczema, brain fog, migraines, epilepsy, anxiety, PTSD, ADD, ADHD, autism, insomnia, pain, or if you just have high toxicity in your body. CBD might provide you with tremendous healing, tremendous relief right throughout your own natural endocannabinoid systems that brings homeostasis both to your immune system and to your central nervous system. So in conclusion, what have we learned from this conversation today? That health is achieved throughout physiological homeostasis right through our natural endocannabinoid systems. And therefore, CBD is an indispensable catalyst for optimal health. So, for those who might be looking for CBD oil and not sure which one to choose, and also for those of you who might be interested in the business of the distribution of CBD and the marketing, creating the market for CBD, I would like to invite you to have a look at one of the best CBD oil producers in the United States, a company called CBD BioCare. You can stay assured I have spent countless hours researching CBD producers, suppliers, products, and its benefits to human health. So I know that CBD BioCare are a quality company, providing a pure, clean, trusted source of full-spectrum CBD oil. CBD BioCare is a company of integrity with quality business standards, third-party testing, clean sourcing and extraction properties, excellent customer service and appreciation. CBD BioCare are constantly expanding and pursuing a goal of going globally. I leave a link in the comments for you, for your convenience. So, for all of you who have joined me today on this amazing exploration of our physiology, in order to understand the effects of CBD on our health and our well-being, well, good luck to you. CBD can make a huge difference to your health and well-being. And for those of you who are interested in distribution of CBD, the business of CBD, I feel big respect to you guys. It's an important business. It's a very significant business. A business that will improve lives of people that you know and care about. And it will improve humanity throughout the planet Earth. So good luck and thank you.